I think I am, yes. Go for it. Hello, my name's Nick Copland and I'm obsessed by cheese. So tonight my presentation is basically called My Life in Cheese, because people ask me why you're obsessed with cheese, and I thought I'd better look into this. So I looked back in my life to see why I'm so obsessed with cheese. So my life, I was popped out a little bit like this little Dairy Lee, all naked and vulnerable and whatnot, into the world in 1963. So that was the early 60s, and round about then, the only cheese that I ever got was the sort of cheese that you could get a bit like this. That's what my mum used to give me. Probably the first cheese I ever had was something a bit like that. Although my mum found this stuff that you could get with lots of different flavours. Does anybody remember those? And there was tomato flavour cheese, and then there was this blue cheese one that no one in the family liked, but I did. One of the key things about growing up when I was little was toasted cheese. That was a mainstay, an absolute mainstay. There was bread, there was cheese, you could have food. Acres and acres of toasted cheese was consumed in my family at any time of the day or indeed night. In the 70s, went to school. Big thing about school, crisps. For me, 3 kinds of crisps: plain, salt and vinegar. The king was the cheese and onion. Do you remember handing out crisps in the playground when you got all the crisps and held onto them and offered them round so no one could get any? I was the king of that. Macaroni cheese. Who likes macaroni cheese? I love macaroni cheese. Macaroni cheese is cool for 2 reasons. First of all, Saturday, lunchtime, macaroni cheese. My dad used to make it, give my mum my mum had a bit of time off. That was the first good thing. Second is I loved it. Third thing, my sister hated it. In the 70s, we also had lots of proper middle-class trips to France with genuine cheese on offer, which I'd never actually tried before. I thought it was a bit weird. But after a couple of trips back, kind of got used to it. Did smell a little bit by the 3rd or 4th week in a little village with no free fridges. On returning to England, I investigated the whole international cheese. The only cheese I could find in the supermarket back then was that funny little German smoked sausagey cheese that you can get. Rank, but I kind of liked it. 70s wouldn't be complete without that mainstay, the dinner party. And what dinner party would be complete without Primula cheese on little crackers? Primula cheese is very strange stuff. I'm not sure about putting prawns in anything, but they do. In the 80s, I did lots of travelling, and I had the good fortune to go to America, and I hunted out the most cheesy of cheeseburgers and became a little bit addicted to those because they put cheese on absolutely everything. And I thought this was great at first. Do you want cheese on that, is what they said to me every 5 minutes. Until I had one of these bad boys, which is a cheese dog, a chili cheese dog as it happens. And that sort of brown stuff in the middle, that's definitely some sort of meat product, but that stuff around the edge, that yellow stuff, that ain't cheese. That ain't real cheese. That's this stuff. Cheese whiz, ladies and gentlemen. I give you cheese whiz. So I discovered that. I was on trips to America and whatnot. And that is pretty much like a sort of a liquid cheese sauce in an aerosol. That is so wrong. I can't even start. It's just beyond comprehension. Anyway, in the 90s, I started working in the catering industry, where cheese is enormous. I mean, absolutely huge. I mean, that's a big bit of cheese, but that's huge. And I was very, very impressed with the size of the cheese in catering industry when I started out, until they told me my first job was to grate one of those enormous pieces of cheese. So I said, well, show me the enormous machine that this goes into. And they gave me an ordinary cheese grater. 2 hours grating cheese every morning. Rubbish, absolutely rubbish. As the 90s progressed, I got a little bit more into cheese and started enjoying a bit more sort of things like decent Stiltons and stuff like that. And I started thinking, well, there's actually more to this than just sort of cheese on toast and cheese and onion crisps. And I actually found out that cheese is an absolutely amazing thing because it starts off kind of as a waste product. It's made from the milk that you can't really keep for very long because it's going to go off. Add salt and a bit of bacteria and it turns into a huge number of different kinds of cheeses. Every single cheese, apart from ones with bits in, which are a bit wrong, is just made from milk and salt and a bacteria and then what you do with it. In the noughties, I had children and my children were tempted by things like this. Does anybody? That's not cheese either. That's cheese strings, that's an aberration. It doesn't even taste of cheese. And the worst thing is, people are growing up thinking that's cheese. That's just completely wrong. And Wotsits, I just put a slide with Wotsits on really, because although I know they're wrong, I do quite like a Wotsit every now and again. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that as time went on, I discovered that there is a huge variety of cheese. I'm totally obsessed with cheese, and it's made a huge difference in my life. And you just have to take my word for it that the curd is the word. And remember that we are living in a great big world of cheese. Thank you very much indeed.